Hey guys, Trent Allen here of Igneous News, and we got a special episode for you guys today. If you don't recall, I did a video about the theater production of Jake's Women by Neil Simon from the McMurry University Theater Department. That is a mouthful. I understand that now. And I remember saying that I would be doing more shows and reviewing them. However, a couple shows did happen, and I wasn't able to review them, mainly because of just personal life and didn't really have the ability to do so at the time. But here we are for A Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen. This is an interesting show, and how they did that, how this department did it, I will get into. A couple people asked me why did I give Jake's Women a resounding 10 out of 10. No one in the comments, just people I've had conversations with. And this is my counter. Theater is different from a movie show or a TV show or a video game. Say, for example, the lighting design or sound design for a movie may be superior to a theater production. It's just how it is. I guess it depends on the theater building or the company. But overall, theater does have that disadvantage of not having the same advancements in technology that movies, TV, and video games do. So, for example, a 10 out of 10 for a movie may not be it may be a 6 for a theater production. It's just, you gotta take into account all these other different factors, which is why I give Jake's Women a very high score, because I take into account of that as well, compared to movies, shows, or video games. And I may have had a bit of bias, because I am a major in this department, and I may have had a bit of first viewing bias, because I love working with these people. That will never change. However, I still stand by it more that I thought about it and the more I look back at it. For this show in particular, I went and saw this twice. As of recording this video, this is my second viewing of A Doll's House, produced by the McMurry Theater Department. I wanted to do a video the first time, which was yesterday. And as of releasing this will be released on Monday after the shows are done, so I won't be able to properly promote this fantastic department. But as of recording this is my second viewing. Again, I didn't want to do this on the first viewing because I didn't want first viewing bias. I wanted to see it again, see what the next performance had in store, and I actually went out of my way to sit in a different angle so I could get a different perspective on other things technically and acting wise. So this was a very fun show. Don't get me wrong. You could probably tell from my expression, it doesn't seem like it, but it is. This is a very interesting show. And what's interesting about it is that this was made in 1879, back in the day, and this was a very controversial show. So controversial that Germany refused to produce it unless they rewrote the ending. Basically, the whole premise is about breaking social norms and breaking social. Yeah. But it's that idea of breaking social norms and what your place is in a society of the time period. In particular, this one was a very interesting one. Especially the ending, which I'll get into in a second. And I promise not to stutter very much. So, I do have the Wikipedia page of the synopsis, so I can refresh myself because my memory will not serve me as well as time goes on. Not like Alzheimer's or anything. But just as a little thing. So, I'm actually going to do this a little differently from my other videos where I talk about the technical side and the production and non-spoiler stuff. First, I can't really do that here. There's a lot of the technical stuff I want to talk about compared to the acting, costuming, and all that. And the story itself. There's a lot to talk about the production side of it than the actual story. So I want to get that out of the way. So we don't have a whole lot of characters in this show. We have like 1, 2, 3, like 7 characters in this show. You could say that's a lot for a theater production, yeah, but not all of them are in the same scene. It's only like mainly 2, maybe 4 at most, actually. It's not very big in terms of staging it. So we have Nora and Torvald Helmer, 2 married couple back in the 1800s. I'm assuming this is set in the 1800s. So, let's get right into the story. This opens up on Christmas Eve with Nora getting a bunch of Christmas gifts for her children, for Torvald, and she just went on a big shopping spree. As a matter of fact, the beginning of the scene is where she pays a messenger 100 kroner. 100 kroner when it was actually 50. She said, "Keep the change." Why? I actually didn't know what kroner was until I looked it up. Just another currency like, rupees or anything. But I'll get into that in a second. So, bear with me. And Torvald's in his study. He's a very hardworking man. It's actually revealed that he has gotten a promotion as the bank manager at the time. This is a big thing back in the 1800s. If you're a man in a high position of a business, you get paid a lot. And Nora is established as kind of an immature character. She acts akin to a child. I'll get into the characterizations of each of these characters in a sec after the synopsis, and that's more to the production side as well. Torvald and her have a very flirtatious and teasing relationship. Torvald is enamored by Nora, and Nora as well. And constant teases are about her being a fritter bird, a bird who fritters money. Basically, from how I got that, it's basically someone who just spends a lot of money and doesn't really save it. For example, say like the manga behind me. Okay, say that I've never read, say, Evangelion somewhere. Say I never read it, but I just keep buying it, and I have not read it since. That is basically wasting money and putting it on a shelf when you could have been saving that. But I have seen Evangelion. I think it's great, but that's not the point here. Just an example of what that kind of term is. The next character to show is Christine Lind, who is followed before by a character named Dr. Rank, who is the family friend and Torvald's best friend. He barely says anything, and he just goes to Torvald's study, where they just have a silent conversation. Christine is the main person that Nora talks to here, and they get back together. They touch face. It's revealed that Christine and Nora are childhood friends, and Christine basically says that she has not had a good life in the past few years. Her husband died, left her nothing, and she had to work the whole time. And it's a very hard thing. Nora is naturally appalled by this. That her friend has struggled for so many years. And she says that it's not been easy for me. I had to go to Italy, take a massive loan to pay for Torvald's treatment because he was very ill. It's revealed that she took 4,800 kroner to do so. Thanks to her father, who is very rich. And I was very confused about what kroner was. And this is converted to US dollars now. 4,800 kroner is 500... No, not 500. I'm reading that wrong. $459.43. Back in the 1800s, that's a lot of money. That is a lot. Nowadays, you could just get paid that much, depending on the job, because minimum wage now is like $12, $13, $14 an hour. That's like a paycheck and a half. But back then, that was like a big deal. Like, you waste that money, you're not getting it back. That's going to take a long time to pay back. So, they continue talking. Dr. Rang leaves his study. No, wait. No, a character named Nils Krogstad enters the house and meets with Torvald and Rank in his study. A lawyer and lower level employee of the bank that Torvald is promoted for. He's been promoted as a manager. Again, big deal. Rank leaves to leave the two bank people to do their thing, talk. And then we get a funny little, not funny. We get a nice little banter between the three characters. We get introduction between Christine and Rank, and they just have nice little banter. And Krogstad leaves at the back door, not the front door. That confused me when I watched it. I think in this particular one, he goes out the back door, and yeah, somehow instead of going out the front door where you could see him, Torvald is then introduced to Christine, and due to Nora's flirtatious charming, he basically begs him to consider giving her a job because she's looking for work. And Torvald, enamored by his wife, is compliant, and basically. And the three, him, Christine, and Rank, then leave and to do their thing. And we get a cute scene with Nora and her children. The children actors I'll actually talk about for just a second. They don't show up a whole lot, but when they're there, it's adorable. They're little kids. They're innocent. Acting wise, I'm not gonna critique kids. Depends on the child actor, and these kids are just having the time of their life being on a production of a theater company. So they do their job, and they were adorable. So Krogstad shows back up. Front door was open to speak with Nora. First of all, who's not locking their doors in this house? That's my question. Anyone can apparently walk in now. But Krogstad shows up to to talk with Nora. And he basically says that, hey, I saw your husband with a woman. Could this be Miss Christine Lind, an old friend of yours? Nora confirms, and Krogstad deduces that Christine was going to take his job because Torvald's thinking about firing Krogstad because of a bad mistake. It's revealed that Krogstad is the person that Nora borrowed money from to pay for Torvald's treatment. And as the scene goes on, I was tense. This was a suspenseful little scene. And Krogstad kind of pushes the buttons more. He is established as a very desperate man who wants to keep his job, and he'll do anything he can do to maintain it. He's also very intelligent. And he has a bill, contract. And he deduces that, and he asks, because Nora's father died, and he deduces that he died after he signed the contract to borrow the money, to confirm. And it's basically revealed that Nora forged her father's signature to save Torvald's life, out of love. And, excuse me. Krogstad basically says, I will use this to keep my job, and if I am thrown into the gutter, I'm dragging you with me. And he leaves, very intimidatingly. And this makes Nora panic. It mentally panic, because she paces, she's nervous, she's scared. She feigns courage, but she is scared out of her mind. Christine comes back, and they devise that they need to keep this from Torvald, because Torvald is a very proud man. And it becomes a big conspiracy to keep the truth from everyone. Even though Christine's like, no, you got to tell him the truth. You got to be honest with him. that's the big thing about this show is that honesty is not very looked upon here. They just go with whatever their reputation has for them. And, Torvald comes back. And, wait. Yeah, I think. No. I mixed up the scene. No. No, not Christine. It's after Torvald comes back. Yeah. Torvald comes back. They hash it out. Nora tries to put in a good word for Krogstad because he blackmailed her. And Torvald's like, nope. Then Christine comes back, and then they do that whole thing. There we go. I knew I'd get it. So, but Torvald is established. He gives a big monologue that a man who if he's honest and he takes the punishment, he's good. But if he lies, he's deceitful. He's an immoral man. He gives poison to his house, to his children. It's just a big, he's a very proud man about this. He has a very big moral compass about deceit, honesty, integrity, reputation even. And that's in Act 1. Act 2 opens up with Christine arriving to help Nora mend a dress for a big dance that's been building up. And they basically continue talking. Torvald shows up again from his job, and Nora she sends Christine off stage for an arbitrary reason. Torvald doesn't like the knitting stuff. It's weird to him apparently. And she tries to put another good word in for Krogstad, and Torvald's like, you know what? No, if you're gonna keep talking about this guy, then I'm not gonna do it. It makes me even want to do it even more, to fire him even more so. And he did that. Mainly because the fact that Torvald and Krogstad are revealed to be fellow students, and they were close. They call each other by their Christian names. They're given names, like Krogstad and Torvald. They call each other that. And Torvald hates the fact that even though he's the manager, Krogstad's very familiar with him. How dare he? He should be calling me Mr. Helmer, not Torvald. In a way that I can respect this. Because when you're in a workplace, I'm not there to be... Torvald has that mindset is, I'm not there to be your friend. I'm your boss. Do your job. So, it's just that whole mentality of reputation. And Rank comes back. Rank arrives again, and he has a very, very sad conversation with Nora. It's revealed that he has a terminal illness. In the show, the characterization here is that he has a cane and he leans right into it. My take on that, which I'll get into in a second, is not in the realm of impossibility. And Nora talks about how Torvald loves her, about this whole thing, and not Krogstad, Rank basically confesses that I'm in love with you. Obviously with a little bit more tact than what I've just said. But he reveals that he has been in love with her. Nora doesn't know what to do with this information. She's nervous. She's flustered. She's taken aback, mainly. But she ends up telling him that she loves him dearly as a friend. Rank. Sorry, dude. You just got friend-zoned. Hard. And basically... No, wait. Yeah. Dr. Rank goes to his Torvald study so they can talk, hash out. Because Rank basically says... before he does, he says to Nora that if you get a letter from me and it has a black cross, I'm gone. I'm going to lock my door to everybody. I'm going out my way. And after he leaves to go to the study, Krogstad returns again, and it gets even more suspenseful. And it reveals that Nora even pleads that you have to believe me. I tried everything I could. Crockstead's not having it. Crockstead's not having it. And he doesn't care about, being owed money because Nora took it. He has an associated bond to blackmail Torvald, if you am I reading this right, into blackmail Torvald and not only keeping him employed but also promoting him. Nora, like I said, pleads that, no, I tried to change his mind. You have to believe me. Crockstead's like, nah, I don't believe you at all. And I don't care. Crockstead basically, like, I have a letter detailing your crime of forgery. And he puts it in the mailbox, locked. Because you don't want people stealing your mail. Christine shows back up after mending her dress. Nora, is frantic. Tells her, like, Crockstead came here, gave the letter to detail my crime of forgery. And Christine offers, like, all right, where does this guy live? Let me talk to him. I could probably do something. Nora gives her a card that has his address. And Christine's like, all right, you stall Torvald and the Dr. Rank since he's here. I'll be back as soon as I can. And Nora goes on to this whole, like, performance of feigning failure at doing a normal dance. Torvald, after much convincing and to his own surprise, he, stays the whole time, perfecting her. Like, all right, I'm going to teach you everything again. Get it right. We'll be good. And the dinner's announced by the maids, and they all leave into Act 2. Act 3 opens up with Christine tells Krogstad. No, actually, wait. Act 3 opens up with Christine and Krogstad meeting up. And they get into a big confrontation about all this, like, unethical behavior. And actually, I'll just read out this little paragraph real quick. Christine tells Krogstad that she not only married her husband because she had no other means to support her sick mother and young siblings, and that she had returned to offer him her love again. She believes that he would not have stooped to unethical behavior if he had not been so devastated by her abandonment and dire financial straits. And Krogstad, after much convincing, decides to change his mind. He's like, all right, I'll ask for my letter back, detailing the crime and everything. Christine says no. They need to be honest with each other. Don't worry about it. And they basically, I guess, get together. At first I'm like, yeah, they get together. And then the second time I'm like, eh. But it's a good lesson of someone as unethical as you can be better. That is the idea of this confrontation, that you are a desperate man. You're not evil. You're desperate. You're just trying to keep yourself going. You can be better, though. And Torvald and Nora come back from the party where she does her big flirtatious dance and everything. Torvald is enamored. He's basically preaching about how much he loves his wife. How when he saw her dance, he imagined that she was his young lover. And when they left the party, it was like they were just married. So you could see a lot of genuine love between these two characters. And before they get any further, Dr. Rank shows up and subtly says that I am dying. I got the thing in absolute certainty. I'm dead. Says his goodbyes. Asks Torvald, can I have one of your black cigars? One of your good ones, so I may go out smoking. Torvald doesn't understand, though. So he's like, yeah, of course. They say goodbye to each other. And between Rank and Nora, it's truly goodbye. But Torvald doesn't know this yet. Torvald is then told by Nora that he is dying because he got the letters and he sees a black cross, and Torvald is devastated about that his best friend is dying, and that was their last conversation. My take on this is that he tries to feign like it'll be just us two. It's okay. Like perhaps it's for the best, but my take on that is that he's devastated. He can't accept the fact that his best friend is dying, and he doesn't know how to cope with that. I know I wouldn't be, personally. But he doesn't want to read the letters yet because he's going through this hard thing, and Nora says, no, do your work, it's fine, I'll see you in the morning. Torvald goes to read the letters. He reaches Krogstad's, detailing everything, and noticeably enraged, confronts, and they have a whole spiel of the truth, just completely. And he's like, and he tells Nora, like, here are the conditions. In public, we will act as nothing happened to keep up appearances. But in this household, you are not to speak to the children. You are not to speak to me. You are not to leave. You are to do everything I say. And it's just a big, big thing. One of the maids enters. Helene delivers a letter to Nora, but Torvald takes it, and it's revealed that Krogstad changed his mind. He gave the contract back. And Torvald is just... He exudes calmness and relief that, no, we're saved. And he takes back his harsh words to his wife, tells her that he forgives her. Nora leaves to change into her normal outfit. And Torvald goes on this rambling about how a man can be better if he proves that he can, say, I forgive my wife. And he's taken aback at the fact that, she's not going to bed. She's dressed up to leave. And this is where it really started to hurt for me. This is where my heart really started to... Nora sits him down. And they get into the first serious conversation they've ever had in their marriage in 8 years. Because she realized that Torvald is not the strong man that she thought he was. And that he truly loves himself more than Nora. Because he talked about how this ruins him more so than it ruins Nora. And Torvald just goes on, before she even came back, he went on about how she's like his child and wife, and she'll be both. Just, my goodness. Nora sits him down, says she's leaving him. Torvald desperately tries to play the victim card, play the emotional pathos, like, no, you need you would abandon your husband, your home, your children. He really uses the children part a lot because as a mother, it's your sacred duty to protect, to teach, and guide your children. He uses this. And Nora gives the idea that she can be that. She can be a good mother if she's nothing but a doll to Torvald, just as she was to her father. And she needs to leave to be better in her eyes. And just, she leaves her keys in her wedding ring. Torvald is just devastated. And she leaves. Torvald, the most glorious thing is his last line, and that's it. That was Doll's House. I can see there's an alternate ending, but I'm not going to read that. So, this was a very big deal. You could tell why the ending was controversial at the time. And the cool thing about this is that they're all human. You could say that, Krogstad and Torvald are assholes, they're the villain of the story, but I won't see that way. They act like human beings. in the grand scheme of things, and that's the whole idea of this. How you think of the ending of this show, I don't know. I'm half and half with Nora's decision to leave everything behind. I think yes, you need to better yourself, self-help. I think anyone needs to do everything they can to be better. But I also believe in duty as well, to do what's right and guide your people. And Torvald desperately tried, like, I can be better. We can fix this. Now that we know, we can fix this. And Nora is unabashed by it. And this was one of the things where I did and did not side with Torvald as well. I could see both arguments. And I could honestly see a cross between the two. How they could be better, ideally. But the decision Nora makes and will make is her own choice. Whether it's good or bad. I don't think it matters that much anymore. It's all up to interpretation to a lot of people. Brief thing I would like to say is, as of releasing this video, this would be Monday after the shows are done. The Friday of the next week, we'll be doing a one night only stage reading of Doll's House Part 2, written in 2017. Over 100 years ago. Later. So that's going to be I implore you, if you watch this video, go see it at the McMurry Theater, McMurray University Theater Department. Go watch that one, Part 2, one night only. You will not see it again. At least I can promote that at least properly. I want to get through the synopsis so I can talk about the characterizations and the production side. So if this video gets a little long, bear with me. There's a lot to talk about. I will say this though. Let's get into the set design. Set design was beautiful. The set was brilliant. We had a big old the stage had a big pit that the department decided to just rip up and build the stage into that. So the whole stage was in the audience. The audience could still sit in the seats, obviously taped off on the restricted parts, but it was like a 360-degree stage, more or less. You had like 4 seats on one corner and 4 seats on another, and the main one is on the stage itself. The audience are in the stage, so the lighting had to be really worked with. But it was beautifully done. I have a picture of it, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to show it. But I decided to take a picture of it because I'm not going to be able to see that another time. So, sound design was, I'm not going to say it was basic or anything. Just a couple of tracks to accentuate certain things. The main thing is the lighting, which I will talk extensively about real quick in a second. I will say that the director, Nina McClain, did a fantastic job directing this show. The acting, right here, I got the cast list right here. Nora Helmer, played by Abby Ewing. I think I said that right. I don't know. As our leading lady, she did phenomenally. Almost everyone here. Lee Neighbors as Torvald. Penny Ferris as Christine Lynn. Matthew Lamar as Niels Krogstad, Roberto Rueda as Dr. Rank, Sue Ellen Hunter as the nanny, Madison Rudick as one of the maids, Bobak as one of the messengers, basically guy that took the money. And the Helmer children by the children. I won't say their names because they're not part of the department. But they all did a fantastic job. And I'll get into the characterizations in a second. But these guys are great. They did a fantastic job. The second viewing, I did not see any cracks with the acting. Actually, I thought it was better than the first time I saw it. I wanted to get away from fierce viewing bias. Nina, you did to the theater department. If you guys watch this video, you guys did a fantastic job on this. I think you guys did great. Nina, your direction on this and the blocking was really good. There were certain parts where I thought, was it smart to block him there? Mainly in the bridge thing, which got a little. I got a little paranoid on that. That's my own thing. LW was the set designer and the light designer. Wow, I didn't read this properly. LW, the set was beautiful. It was very well made. I love the levels. The main door that, just real quick, the main door that Nora leaves through is in the design of of bars. If I'm not mistaken, I think what you guys were going with is that she's trapped in a doll's house, and she's now leaving. She's now free. And I think that was the first thing I thought when I saw that. Like, it's a cage. She's trapped. And I thought that was very well done. I think that was a great way to accentuate that. There's a rocking chair, but it's actually just a swing. I thought that was kind of neat, not going to lie. It plays into Nora's childlike behavior, more so. To the operator, to the light board, soundboard. Light board operator was Joshua Knight. Did great. Stage manager, Emma Gates. This was brilliant. Eli, Emma, Joe, and LW as the soundboard operator. I guess these are for the other nights, but you guys slayed it and you guys killed it. Follow spots: Dalton, Martinez, Eli, Rodriguez, Zane Hargrove, and Rudy Flores. The spotlights were great. I like how they were positioned. I was sitting in one of the corners and a spotlight hit me right in the face. I thought it was funny, but like, oh no. Lights on me now. What do I do? So I thought that was very funny. Characterizations. Like I said, you could play Torvald and Krogstad as complete jackasses. But they're not. They are playing the roles that society has put them in. And when that reputation is threatened, they get desperate. Krogstad, for example, I want to talk about him a bit. He was actually probably one of my favorite parts of the series because he really kicked in the serious stuff. Every time he was on screen, he did something to further the plot of this whole idea. And Matt, dude, you killed it, man. You were very intimidating. You gave the presence of someone intelligent and who could use that to his advantage. Like a master manipulator. One of the biggest things I can think of was Odin from God of War Ragnarok, the game. I've not beaten the game, so please, people, don't spoil it for me, please. I know there are videos that spoil the whole thing, but please don't. But you gave me that vibe, where he acted like just a big manipulator, who's just, I will do this if you don't make my demands. You could also take it like he just a very, very, very aggressive lawyer, mainly prosecution. So you could definitely pull that off. You gave a great vibe. At first I thought he was a snake, a conniving person, but no, I don't think that. I honestly don't think that. I think he has an advantage. And he's a desperate man. He's not one to be crossed. That makes him dangerous. Snakes are they're suave. They twist the words. The first scene with Krogstad really sold that. Because one of his lines is, I think big managers like all married men are like all married men. They can be swayed. And he's like trying to slink his words. But the later scenes, he's just direct, straightforward. This is it. Honestly, it's like a big reality check for Nora. And this goes in line with the lighting. I'll get into it in a second. Nora, back to Krogstad. He's just a desperate man who will not care what he does in order to get what he wants. And Matt, you surely gave that vibe, man. You certainly gave that. Um, Abby's portrayal of Nora is very genuine, intense. When she acts like a child, you really conveyed that. She's playful. She's charming. She's enthusiastic, energetic. Especially when she's talking about like how good her life is, and she seems immature. But when she's in the scene with Krogstad, for example, real quick, we see a bit of her true self. She's smarter than she lets on, but she wants to keep playing the game because that's all she ever knows. I really like that. One of my favorite scenes from you is the ending scene with Torvald. With the whole, we haven't had a serious conversation. That gave me the biggest vibe of Promised Neverland, the anime manga series, where one of the main characters, Isabel, who finally shows her true personality towards Emma and Norman. If I can get it. Actually, hold on. Let's see if I got it right here. Yeah, right here. This little scene right here. This one right here. Where Isabel talks to Norman and Emma, saying that for the past 10 years, we can finally, after 10 years of this stuff, we've been living together, and this is the first time we've actually had the ability to talk without acting, right here. It gave me that vibe of, we are now seeing these two characters for who they are. Nora is showing her full ideals as a person. We see her intelligent side for once, her conviction, who she really is. And we see Torvald, in a sense, his real self. He's a desperate man by nature as well. And he doesn't get it that he needs to be strong instead of feigning strength. He hasn't had that position of what it means to be weak. And when he finally gets that reality check, you can see him want to be better, but it doesn't work. I really like that, how you conveyed that with Nora. It reminded me so much of this, and I think this is one of the best things I've read manga-wise. It's great. First of all, great mind thinking stuff. It's like a big chessboard. But you gave that sense of realization of how, like, this is reality now. We can finally talk without acting. I really like how you conveyed that. It was one of the best, in my opinion. I think that was one of my favorite scenes as well. There's a lot of scenes I really like here, but I really like how you conveyed both her feigning her reality and then her actually accepting that. I like how you conveyed that. If that's what you were going for, if anything, that could just be my interpretation. But I like how you conveyed that in my eyes. Penny, you as Christine, from what I got is that you are very mature. You've been through more than, say, Nora has, and you know that full-heartedly. You wear that on your heart. That, yes, I've been through stuff, but I'm not going to let that faze me anymore. I will take that and learn from it. You gave the sense that she's a responsible friend. She cares. That she, and I like how you acted whenever Nora's like, yeah, is it great to have that, how great my life is? And you're like, yeah. Not everyone has the same life as you, man. But your final scene with Krogstad, I really did enjoy. Because I like the how you portrayed, no, this needs to happen because these two need to, stop playing. It's just so good. How you portrayed Christine, was very well done. I like how you conveyed the sense of maturity as you and Krogstad both, and Matt both really showed the reality check that these two characters possess as are. They are, in a sense, reality checks towards Nora. So I thought that was very well done, especially your scene where with and Matt, how you acted with how you changed from being you conveyed bitterness. You weren't wrathful. You weren't rage. You were bitter. You had hate, venom in your voice when you're talking down to Torvald and like, oh, he ruined me. Like, I won't forgive him for that. You're bitter. You're not rageful. You're bitter. But after Christine gives that second shot, it sparks something that this is a person that sees me in a light that I'm trying to show people who I am. And the genuine joy you showed with that was chef's kiss. All of you, chef's kisses. Dr. Rank, Berto, dude, how you used the limp, how you did the limp was really cool. I like that little tick you had there. The genuine love he has for Nora and the genuine friendship he has with Torvald. You really convey the sense that you were kind of the moral ground of these two. But you wanted something more. But you were content in the end of it. You portrayed a man at the end of his rope, and he went out his way. First, I want to say something about the limp real quick. They talk about it's a tuberculosis in the spine on the Wikipedia page, and in the show they talk about how he hasn't. You obviously you have a terminal illness. It's implied, if not confirmed, that it was a sexually transmitted disease from Grank's father. I think throughout the years you did the character of Rank did have a limp, just barely, just simple like, oh yeah, he's just there. But as years went on, and now he's at a terminal part of his illness, he has to lean into his cane more. He's trouble standing, sitting, and walking. It's just how you convey the natural sense of that in the end of the rope. I thought that was beautifully crafted. Your scene with confessing the love and your final goodbye, not gonna lie, made my heart wrench a bit. I didn't cry or anything, but it made me take off my hat and just, you were a good man, this was good for you, man. You really conveyed genuine friendship, joy, love, and vulnerability. And I like the vulnerability in Dr. Rank's character. Everyone else in this is just let me speak. Everyone else, Sue and Madison, Bobak, the children. I know you guys didn't have a whole lot of lines, and you did great with what you had. The main one is Sue as the nanny. I think you conveyed the sense of being a very doting mother figure, because in one line is that the only other mother Nora has had is the nanny. The genuine love you conveyed with Nora and the children, you just want what's best. I think you convey that very well. And in terms of acting wise, everyone else, y'all did great. Don't think I'm not gonna compliment you guys. You guys did fantastic with what you had. But because lack of lines, I can't really critique too much or compliment much either. You guys did great with what you were given. I'll give you that. But I don't hate you guys. I remember talking about I was going to go over the lighting. The lighting was probably my favorite part of the technical side of this. For example, let me use Krogstad and Nora's second encounter. from two different points of view, because I sat in one corner and I sat on the other corner both times. One of the first time I saw it, Nora had this innocent glow to her because the light, how it bounced off her. It was soft and gentle. How, she's the it tries to convey that she's the innocent here, and she's, good intentioned and everything. But with Krogstad, it's very sharp. It's contrasting. He's got a shadow over like half his body and just light here. It's showing like this is the direct person. How vastly different in personality and motives they are. And another scene, and the same scene on another side, it conveyed the other way. And I thought about this, and if I'm not mistaken, this is just my interpretation. It's gentler on Krogstad and sharper on Nora. And I could interpret it as this: Nora is at fault because she took money to save her husband's life, which was noble, but she still forged a signature. This is just the reality of crime. And Krogstad is just the guy, is the messenger of bad news. And I could look at it both ways on both angles. Another thing, the lighting was used beautifully. The shadows. It was mainly apparent in my second viewing on this one, but the final confrontation with Nora and Torvald, the lighting was brilliant here. When Torvald's going on his whole rambling about how a man who forgives his wife loves her, I noticed that they obviously, for lighting purposes, they had a spot to follow him because he's the one in the center. I interpret that as he's deluding himself. He's going on trying to make up these excuses about what it means to be a man, and the idea of forgiveness makes strength. And he just keeps talking and rambling randomness. It's like he's making he's deluding himself in his own social image. It reminds me of the Shadow Self. I forget the book though, but that it was based on. But the Shadow Self is like the main parts deep down, and we have the facade. The for appearances. And for Nora, her facade is, the ignorant, feigning responsibility. I don't know if that's the right word, but feigning intelligence for the sake of, playfulness and childishness. Whereas Torvald his facade is I am the strong male patriarch. I am the strong patriarch. I run my business. I make money. I have my ideals, my convictions, my beliefs. But in reality, like, Nora is she's direct. She's intelligent. She admits that she doesn't know everything, but she's going to learn. Torvald is revealed to be a very desperate man who is not as mentally strong as he believed he is. And when they're talking about this, I see they had green lights on one part of the stage, whereas Torvald's in a gentle light now. And during the conversation, Nora's mainly in the sharp contrast with the green lights. And how I see it is that this is conveying the sense that this is who she is. And same with Torvald. Because normal scenes with him, he has the contrast. He is the sharpness of shadows and light, because he's the one in control. In this scene, though, Nora's in control. She sits him down. She has a conversation with him, and the lighting to do that conveys how she's the one now taking charge of the scene. And despite the height difference between the two actors, Lee and Abby are like this is Lee, this is Abby. It's a stark difference, but because of how they blocked it, obviously, but how they do it shows who's in power of the scene. And I just can't think of anything else. For Krogstad, like I said, it's very sharp, and for Rank, he had a bit of both in a way. And during his confession, he's got a sharp enough light that's not making harsh shadows across his body, but it's gentle enough where it's not blurry and angelic. He's straight but genuine. You could see that. He doesn't have evil intent. He doesn't have the reality check. This is just him. This is his truth. This is him admitting. I don't know, because LW, I think, yeah, you are the light designer. I don't know if that's what you were going for. Regardless if it was or not, you, in my eyes, nailed it. Nailed it. First viewing, I thought the lights were a bit off, but more like just, there's a shadow here and a shadow there. Just, I'm like, they're not fully lit, but I guess that was the point. Second viewing, the beginning of the show, there was a spotlight on me the whole time. Then it turned off and I was fine, but it wasn't a big deal. But other than that, if your idea was to convey how contrast shows the reality in their genuine side, their real self, and the gentle and the softer lights were to convey their facade, and the spotlight their even more delusion of themselves, I think you nailed it. You nailed it. In my eyes, at least. If that's what you're going for. If not, still. It's still great. Sound design. Joe Caton, you did. I'm sorry I didn't say your name properly or officially in this video, but know that your choices of sound and music for the scene was immaculate. It really gave a different tone shift, where from being bewilderment to very serious. I thought it was very well done and natural. You gave very natural sounds to these scenes, and you nailed it, man. You nailed it. Everything about this is nailed great. I'm not gonna say perfection because nothing's truly perfect. Man, what can I talk about now? Costumes, right? Costumes. Who was the costume person? This is not saying anything. Yikes. Whoever was in charge of the costume, I think it was Lee. Lee, I think it was you. I don't know. I don't remember. But whoever it is, I think. Yeah, well, whoever the costume designer was, they were brilliantly made. Nora's dresses are beautiful to look at. Torvald's business attire, Krogstad. Honestly, in my personal opinion, I think Dr. Rank had my favorite outfit the entire time, especially with the cane. Dude was dripping the whole time. Love the red tie, the coat. The costuming was great. It was beautiful, and it was natural. Yeah, I didn't. It's not once did I think that this costume doesn't really look that good, or no, everything was natural. It was just, I will say this was perfect in the costuming department. Where, because it is set in wintertime, so additional layers are warranted. So, I'm glad that was a little established. Again, stage was, it was an interesting thing. It was a nice little experiment, I will say, because obviously this was experimentation. You need experiment stuff in the theater, right? But to top it all off, everything about this was main presentation about this was great. I don't think I have anything else to talk about, really. So, alright, I guess I'll just finish this off with my rating. What would I rate A Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen, produced by the McMurry University Theater Department? My movie brain says, do this. There's a few things. Acting wise, but as a theater side, I'm going to take into account everything I just said. And if you're thinking it's a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out, then you'll be right. So I'm going to give, spoiler, it's a good score. I'm going to give Doll's House by the McMurry University Theater Department a resounding, legendary 10 out of 10. And I know as of releasing this video, I will not properly promote you see this show, but I implore you, please go watch Doll's House Part 2. Who knows? I might actually do a review on that one. Maybe. I don't know. It's a stage reading, so it's a little different compared to an actual production. But who knows? Who knows? If I don't, I don't. If I do, I do. But yes, Doll's House and everything about it is a resounding, legendary 10 out of 10 rating. I would like to see it again, but this weekend plans are busy. So obviously this will be released Monday after the shows are done, so people have a chance to go see it and they can hear my review about it. And I want to do more of this arbitrary stuff for reviews. I remember talking about in our Berserk review that I will be doing a video about what constitutes an Odyssey. I still plan on doing that, but I need to read the Odyssey before anything, and obviously read more stuff. So that video will come. It will come. If you want me to do video game reviews or TV show reviews, please let me know, and I'll see what I can do on that. Because I remember reviewing Wednesday, and that was our most viewed video. So thank you guys so much for the support on that one. And to the theater department that watches this video, thank you for having me watch it, having me review it, and I thank you for having me as part of the department, as either fellow actor, writer, whatever, contributor, anything. I want to just say personally, thank you guys. So, as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.